Are you desiring more out of life? More love, more connection, more experience, just more aliveness? Well, that is your soul calling you, and together we are going to uncover those soul desires and help you bridge the gap between your physical life and your true soul self. Welcome to the Suddenly Spiritual Podcast. My name is Emilee. I'm an intuitive, a psychic medium, and someone who recently and very suddenly awakened to spirituality. On this podcast, we are going to talk all about connecting with your soul to live your fullest, most beautiful life. We're going to talk about spirituality from the perspective of the everyday person. It's my goal that you feel seen and supported on this journey of discovering your soul and awakening to the incredible world of spirit. Let's get started. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to the Suddenly Spiritual Podcast. It's me, Emilee, your host, and I'm so happy to be here with you today for another episode of the podcast. Before I dive into our topic today, I just wanted to say thank you so much for all the love and support you guys sent me after the last episode. The last episode I shared was pretty personal and very raw, very real, very in the moment about some of the difficulties I've been facing, that my family's been going through, and just how I'm processing all of that and my experience of spirit through processing a crisis. So I just wanted to take a minute to tell you thank you so much for your compassion. Thank you for your messages, for your notes. I just really appreciate the support you've been sending me, and I really hope that episode was helpful to you if you ever find yourself in a moment of crisis, a moment when things are very unclear and unknown. And let's be honest, we're all going to face those moments in our life. And so I hope that my story and sharing my experience is helpful to you. And just thanks for your compassion. It was kind of scary a bit for me to share something so personal and so vulnerable, but it also just felt really important to share. And I think moving forward, I'm going to continue with being a bit more vulnerable here in this space, being a bit more open about my current experiences. And today's episode does follow along with that a little bit. Today, we're talking about FOMO, which is the fear of missing out. I think most people know that acronym by now, FOMO, but just in case, it means the fear of missing out. I want to talk to you about it because it's something that I've always experienced. I think most of us have this experience of feeling like we're gonna miss something. We're gonna run out of time. It's like the saying, the grass is always greener on the other side. We always feel like we're missing something or something better is just on the horizon, or we're gonna miss the opportunity, that feeling like there's not enough time. And I have always had that feeling within me, but really recently, I've been diving more deeply into it, especially just with the current circumstances with my family and having to take a step back for the last month from doing the podcast, from doing readings, from pursuing this dream of mine in order to care for my family. And while it felt so important for me to do that, it's also been challenging for me internally, thinking about, oh my gosh, am I missing out on something? What if I slow down and I miss out on something? And as I was deep in these feelings, this fear of missing out, I had a little perspective shift. As I'm in that contemplation, spirit really stepped in and gave me a new perspective. And I have some things I want to share around this that hopefully will give you some perspectives about having that fear of missing out and about feeling like there are things in the outside world that you need to experience. What I'm actually going to do today is I'm going to start by reading to you from my journal. So this is a journal entry from about a week ago, maybe a little more, about that fear of missing out, about that anxiety that I felt from slowing down in my life. So I hope hearing this will help you. And after I finish reading it, we'll chat a little bit more. Okay, so here's what I wrote. This is a portion of a journal entry, so we're starting like right in the middle here. It says, everything still feels fragile, still feels tender. It feels like I was careless before, not appreciating my sweet little family and our life together. Now it feels like the most precious thing. Shrinking down my life, creating smallness, it feels comfortable. It feels important because I see how fleeting this time is. But at the same time, I have this bubbling, ruminating fear of missing out on life. Missing out on life outside of this bubble I've created. The things that I could build, the big impact that I could have. Am I leaving my dreams of bigness behind? Am I just putting them on pause? And is it actually what I want? I'm in a constant battle with time. I want to do everything, see everything, try everything, but how? All of my interests can't be pursued. All of the lives that I'm curious to live can't be lived. Yesterday, I was thinking about why I feel this anxiety, why I feel this pull to be seen and to experience life in a specific way. I was thinking about how I've always loved art and I've always loved writing, but I didn't pursue it in school or in college. I didn't take classes or follow those desires. Why? It's because I wanted to have the quote, full experience. And I didn't see how art and creativity, which is really vulnerability in my perception, could fit into the persona that I was trying to create. It didn't fit into the experience I wanted to have, the one that I was terrified to miss out on. And as I was thinking this, I heard a whisper, but you are the experience. And I kept sitting with that. I am the experience, not the outside world. The purpose is not to experience the outside world, but to experience myself, my soul, my heart, my expression, to let those lead me. It's not a new concept to me, but the wording, the connection with my actual life hit me so much deeper. I didn't realize how much I was still desperately looking outside of myself for the experience. Afraid to miss out on something big, important, meaningful. Afraid to miss out on an important lesson, an opportunity, a sign, a chance. The desire for growth and experience had been placed completely outside of me. It was a realization that I don't need to search for meaning, for purpose, for anything. I can relax that search. It all comes from within me. It's all led by my experience of myself. My purpose isn't to experience the world, it's to experience me. Express my creativity, follow my nudges, be full of compassion, love, grace, curiosity. I will be led to the experiences of the world that are meant for me. It's a surrender to myself, my soul, my inner knowing, rather than a pushing myself out into the world. I hadn't realized the desperation and fear that existed within me around this until I heard those words. But you are the experience. So that's the journal entry, and that has been on my mind just constantly lately. And it's given me a lot of calm. It's given me a lot of perspective and helped me to relax a bit on my feelings and my fears of missing out. That phrase, you are the experience, it's really been sitting with me. And I can see how this lesson has been told to me and taught to me in other ways throughout my life, especially throughout my spiritual journey. But for some reason today, like this specific way it was presented to me, wow, it really hit. You know, there's also a lot of talk in the personal development and spiritual space about the concept of being rather than doing. And I feel like that's another way to look at this and to look at this fear of missing out. The fear of missing out is feeling like you need to do. You got to do stuff. Like you're meant to be doing things in the world. And of course you are. Like I am a very active person and I'm very proactive and I love starting new things and I like trying new things and taking actions towards the things that I want. But there's also the concept of being. And you have to settle into the being in order to move forward into the doing that's actually meant for you. And what that means with the being is connecting in with who you are and being that person, allowing yourself to connect with your soul, connect with your heart, connect inwardly, and then let yourself be from there. Being the person that you want to be comes before doing the things. You have to embody who you are, who you're meant to be, your interests, your curiosities, your heart, your soul. It's an embodiment of those things. And trusting that that embodiment will lead you to the experiences, to the doing that you're meant to do in this world. And it sort of flip flopped from how I was perceiving life before. I was putting so much of my focus on doing, on creating the experiences and creating the external reality that I want. But this is another way that I can now see I can deepen my practice of focusing inwardly on who I want to be, on who I truly am, and then letting my outside world rearrange to reflect that. Because as you are being who you are meant to be, the situations, experiences, and material things that are meant for you will be presented to you. But it starts internally. And so I don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid of missing out on anything that's meant for you. You're still going to get all the experiences that are meant for you. You're not missing out. And this anxiety about missing out really came up because I'm taking this break. I'm having to step back from pursuing the things that I wanted, that I really thought I wanted. But this break is having me re examine those desires and trust that just by being who I'm meant to be, who I am, continuing to follow the nudges and desires of my soul and of my heart, taking care of me with compassion, love, that by being, I'm never going to miss out on anything that's meant for me. The universe, God, spirit is still going to bring to me what I am meant for. So I hope that this little perspective shift helps you as well. If you're experiencing FOMO, that fear of missing out on something that looks so amazing. Like maybe you're seeing pictures of people on vacations. Maybe you're looking at someone with an incredible career, whatever it is. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm missing out. Time is passing and I'm missing out. I'm missing the opportunity. What Spirit's been guiding me towards, and I think it's guiding you toward too, is to instead of focusing on these external experiences as something that is the purpose of your life. The purpose of your life is actually internal experiences, and it's your experience of yourself and allowing yourself to express who you are meant to be and living from that soul place. So get to know yourself better, love yourself better, explore your soul. What does your soul actually desire? And then start taking steps towards those desires. Those desires are going to lead you to the fullest experience of this life. Following those desires are what's going to give you that incredible alive feeling that you are wanting. That alive feeling is what you're chasing by looking outside of you to all these experiences that other people are having and having the subconscious belief that those things are going to make you feel satisfied and fulfilled, when in reality, those feelings all originate from within. And the way that you can really support yourself through this life and experience satisfaction, fulfillment, aliveness is by living from within. It's by being and allowing that being to guide your doing. I hope this episode's helpful for you. I hope that it helps you through your own experiences of FOMO. It is a perspective that I am integrating into my life still, that I am still deepening my understanding of. And I really hope that it does the same for you. I love you so much, and I'll chat with you soon. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Suddenly Spiritual podcast. I'm so grateful that I get to be part of your journey of spiritual expansion. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love it if you would leave a review for me on Apple Podcasts. It's a quick, free, easy way for you to support this podcast, and it helps me reach more people who are looking for support on their spiritual journey. You can find a link to leave a review in the show notes. Thank you so much, and I'll chat with you soon.